All right, everybody, welcome. I was having some technical difficulties through OBS and Discord, but we are here on StreamYard. I am here with Carolina Keith. He is from 786 Assassins Discord. You got to have the assassins in there. Keith is a pioneer in the space. He's Assassins Discord. You got to have the assassins in there. All right, there we go. It's working. All right, Keith is probably one of the best TA people that I know personally, and he's got mad skills on the charts. His knowledge in the space is unlike a lot of people that I've seen. I respect the hell out of Keith, and so I wanted to get on here and do a live stream with Keith to teach you a TA lesson, as well as after we're done talking, I'm going to talk to Keith a little bit about the market as we go, and then I'm going to get into the Binance, Department of Justice, and other crypto news. So without further ado, welcome, Keith. How you doing, my friend?
Good. Round two. We tried this a minute ago. It didn't work. So without trying to like fake it, like now we talked for a second, like it's well-placed news after the market run really hot for several weeks in a row here.
Yeah.
We were already kind of talking about this over in Discord, but you can't run this hot for this long and expect it not to slow down. So I think a lot of people are going to conflute this news. It's not the right word. They're going to use this news as a reason to say, this is why everything's going down. Listen, everything's way up. Less a few things. Everything is up 100, 150, 200%. We were getting to that point where people were starting to throw mud at the wall and watch it stick, which is usually the place where everybody starts losing money. So it feels like that point where we're going to get this last little pullback before we approach the new year. And we have a bull market coming next year and 2025. And then everything really shines. I think this is just the precursor for the actual show. You know what I mean? I don't even think this is the real show yet. We haven't even seen the fireworks yet, in my opinion.
I think you're right, Keith. I think you're right. I think a lot of people have confused this with the bull market. I've seen, people that have a bigger following than me saying, we're in the bull market and this and that, and it's the end of the year pump, right? We've had over almost 2 years straight of just trading sideways. I mean, things were bound to get started, sooner or later. But I agree with you, man. I think it's just kind of, a lot of people have been sitting on the sidelines. A lot of money's been sitting on the sidelines, and people were just, it usually happens this time of year, doesn't it? I mean, if you kind of look back in history, it usually is the end of the year pump, right?
October, November is usually a point where we have some sharp up and sharp down. In December, typically flat, and then almost every single January in crypto, bull market or bear market, doesn't matter, almost every single January has been green. You cannot have big green and not have big red right behind it. All right. True. That's just the way it works. I know while we're in a bull market, it doesn't feel like that. And a lot of people got in either at the end of the bull market or during the bull market. So never really experienced what it's like to get punched in the face for 2 years like we have been. All right. This is my second go round. So I already knew what this was going to be like. That's why I tried to warn everyone, right? We talked a lot about this in 2021, at the end of 2021, and even at the end of 22, with the whole Terra Luna fiasco. Listen, when the music turns off, it's time to leave the concert. I say that a lot, and that directly reflects on the chart. And that's how I knew this, and it wasn't just me. I want to make that very, very clear. I'm just a guy. I'm nobody special. I'm just reading data on a chart. No different than the people who program stoplights, or an engineer who's building a building or designing a building, who reads the data and comes up with an answer on how much concrete he needs, right? It's the same thing that I'm doing. Only I'm doing it with cash, turning it into crypto, and then making more, right? That's the whole idea. So I can go through a couple things here that's really simple. I know we talked about doing the. I think I've got my screen share. Let me know if it doesn't work.
I pulled it up. We're rocking and rolling.
So there's a couple fallacies. Number one is, TA doesn't work on XXX, or we don't need TA for XXX. The interesting piece of that is technical analysis is in everything that you do in your life every single day, whether it's waking up and breathing. You take a certain number of breaths per minute. That average gives us an average number of breaths, which averages out to show us what your blood pressure will end up being, which will then show us how your health is. All this connects together. We use a height weight ratio chart to monitor our kids' growth process. And I actually charted that and put that in our Discord to show I had one kid who was running hot, one kid who was lagging behind. And honestly, they've started to balance out. It's really insane. And even your DNA is a double helix, which is a Fibonacci sequence. It's literally in your blood. So it's hard to deny this stuff. So first thing I want to say is pick an asset and we can do TA on it. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm going to use Bitcoin, but we can use anything. It doesn't matter. So for the example, I'll use Bitcoin. A couple quick things that you need to do first. Number one, I always start on a high time frame. And what I mean by a high time frame is weekly or monthly or higher, quarterly, yearly, 5 yearly, 10. That's fine. Please do not walk into this and start looking at 5-minute, 15-minute, 2-hour chart. You're just going to drive yourself insane and you're going to quit. And the reason I know that is because that's what the data tells me. I would say 70% of the people who joined previously left because they got frustrated, not because they were wrong, but it was overwhelming. Okay. And we never want to overwhelm ourselves with anything we do. We want to make sure that we moderate ourselves in everything, moderate ourselves in all aspects of life. And this will be no different. So first thing, I'm on a weekly chart. So every single red or green thing that you see on the chart here is a week represented by a candle. We call them a candle because they look like candles. It's very simple. The big bodies of the candles are the opening and the closing of the week. If you don't know, in crypto, our opening and closings of our weeks are on Sunday at 7 o'clock Eastern time because of daylight savings. So every single candle starts and stops 7 p.m. Eastern on Sunday afternoon. Now, the wicks on those bodies are the action in between that week. It could be on a Monday or a Wednesday or a Friday. The price goes way up. And then it comes right back down because, Thursday and Friday and Saturday happen and the price ends up throwing a red candle with the big wick on the top, which is what you see here. This candle was really, really nice at one point, went way up here, and then price pulled it back down, and then it ended up forming this really, really ugly candle here. That's the wicks. That's the bodies. The bodies are the opening and the closing. The wicks are everything in between. We need those wicks. We need these bodies to feed us data. The more data we have, the better answer I can give you. Someone asked me, could I give them a metaphor? And a great metaphor, if you know anything about science and pathology or chemical analysis, every aspect of a science experiment done in a chemical analysis is started with sugar water. And that's called a base. That's not because sugar water is special. It's just because that gives you a flat line to start with. You don't want to use hydrochloric acid or toothpaste. You want to use sugar water. Right? That starts our data. And these candles are our data. We never, ever want to argue with the data. It is what it is. It gives us in our data. It lays it in our hands for us to take. We never want to exploit our data. That's the other problem. A lot of people see it and they think they can exploit it and they end up failing. I don't want to see that happen. So understand that the candles are our data. We're going to use that data to come up with a better answer. Now, a little chart set up. I'm on the weekly time frame, which is up here. All right, on the left, you can pick a time and put a star beside it. I've got a star beside daily, weekly, and monthly. If you ever watch a live stream that I do, you'll never see me drop below daily on a live stream. It'll all be weekly, monthly, daily, in that order, because I'm going to start high and work low. Never miss the macro. A common misnomer about TA to people is we don't look at the macro. That's completely false. I promise you, I'm looking at the macro every day, multiple times a day. I want to see the big picture. I never want to lose sight of the big picture. I'm on the weekly. I've got my candles up. Next thing, bottom right-hand corner right here. This is something I go over 10 times, and I'm not joking, 10 times a day. This is in log mode currently. What log mode does is lets us fit all of our data in the screen, all right, without changing the candle sizes. If I flip this over into linear mode, which is standard, which I'm going to do now, doesn't look like a big change right now, but the more I zoom out, things get funky looking. I'm going to switch this back to log mode now. I put it in log mode. It looks crazy, right? In linear mode, you'll notice that the right side of the screen is very, very symmetrical. The numbers are very, very even 400, 8,000, 4,000, 8,000, 12, 16, 20, 24. They're all very perfect. That's linear mode, and it's designed to be perfect so that you can look on a low time frame and see what you need to see. Few candles on the screen, it'll be okay, but the more you add, the bigger the picture, the worse it is to read. Log mode, when I click that back into log mode, now the numbers on the right aren't perfect, but our candle sizes didn't change and everything is even. The best example of this is XRP. I'll just do this real quick to show you. I'll pull up the XRP Poloniex chart. I don't have anything drawn on this. So I'm in log mode right now. When I flip this to linear mode, here's what we see. Everything from 2014 to 2017 is unreadable right now. Furthermore, everything after 2019 till 2020, unreadable. Put it in log mode, and suddenly we can read it now. We can see our candles and our data has not been altered. It's very important that we remember log mode. 95% of the time, you can be in log mode in crypto and make a better decision and see things better than you can in linear mode. Dropping down to daily, few candles on the screen, no problem with linear mode at all, which is standard. And if you have a massive amount of data, for instance, the Dow Jones, going all the way back to 1897 or whatever, what does it matter? There's so much data, the screen's going to get twisted no matter what you do. So it doesn't matter as much then. But for crypto, log mode, please be in log mode. I'm going to say that first thing when you share me a chart, put that in log mode. Before I say anything else, I'm going to say put that. I say it at least 10 times a day. So I've got nothing on the screen here except candles and one yellow line. The yellow line here is the 50 moving average. What is a 50 moving average? 50 moving average is 50 candles averaged together and gives you a number. That changes every single candle. All right. One more candle comes, the average comes, a different number. One more candle comes, the average comes, a different number. That's why it's called a moving average. 50 period moving average is what it's easier to say, but we say 50 MA. I typically do this on the daily, but I've got it on the weekly for an example. All right. The way this 50 moving average works with this strategy is very simple, everybody. Anytime the price is over the 50-day moving average, buy. Anytime the price is under the 50-day moving average, do not buy. Tis very, very, very simple. And this is weekly. So I want you to understand that it's a bigger picture, but I showed you this for a reason, and I'm going to go back to that in a second. But let me go down to daily first. Here is the daily 50 MA. This tells you way back here. Now, obviously, this is very trend dependent, and I can go over trends at a different time, but I wanted to show you the 50 MA first. When we're in a bear market, I am not looking to buy, everybody. I'm looking to sell or wait. I need some confirmation that that bear market is broken before I start throwing money back in, because every dollar you put in a bear market usually depreciates. So I want my money to wait and appreciate it as much as possible. I'll save you the long rhetoric to say the trend broke right around here at the beginning of 2023. All right. When that trend broke, we got multiple closes over the 50-day moving average in a row right here. And it wasn't just one, it was 8 very small candles in a row breaking the 50-day moving average. Now, obviously it's trend dependent, and I'd have to show you that in another stream, but nonetheless, trend broke right here. I like to wait for 2 candle closes over this 50-day moving average, not just one. And this way there's no fake outs or less fake outs. How about that? All right. So when I buy 2 candles closed over the 50-day moving average, let me zoom in. I didn't mean to draw that. Let me zoom in here. There you can see it, 1 and 2. I don't care whether that candle's red or green. It doesn't matter to me as long as it's over that yellow line 2 times in a row. And it was right here. There's some really cool tools on TradingView right here you can grab and drop pins. Here's a price note, right? You can put that right there, and it'll drag out and show you that. Or you can use these other little tools like Signpost. It's pretty neat. I like to use the little money bag here because then I can say buy with that money bag, and you don't forget that. You can even move that to the front by clicking the 3 little dots there, and then it will be in front of the candles and won't fade away. But that was the buy, right? Money bag means buy. So after that, we literally just stay in this until it fails. And this didn't fail till way over here. All right. We bought down here at 16,008, call it 16,007. We sold at 22,552. So roughly a 50% gain. No trouble, no hard time, no fancy anything. We bought, we sold. Now, did it backfire a little bit on us right here? Well, yeah. Shot right back over. And no time flat, got right back over. And I can go deeper on more stuff later. But to make it simple, 2 candles closed, we're back in. We rebought at 24,000. We ride this up, and right here it comes back down to 27,000, and we sell. Now we've 2 times made profits. We wait. It shoots back up. We buy again at 28,000. Uh-oh, guess what? Sideways she goes. And this is that lull period we had for the entirety of the summer, which I didn't think would happen, but did. We waited and waited and waited. Ended up, selling roughly where you bought it. And then it kind of fades and falls. And then we get a beautiful buy here. And recently I rebought everything. I'm 90% in the market right now. That will change day to day. I may sell tomorrow. All right. But we got a buy signal right here on the, looks like September 29th at roughly 26,009. It never failed the 50-day moving average from here and only shot up and up and up. And here we are sitting over this 50-day moving average, clear and free. No big sell line yet. I just put a tweet out earlier, which I don't do much anymore. I'm really, really tired of social media. But for the business wise, you're supposed to use it. But gosh, people are evil, dude. So I don't use it that much. But I do expect this 50-day moving average to get hit here at some point. It hasn't been hit in quite a while. As you see, almost over a month. Well, right at over a month. It's due to be touched at some point. Not fail, but at least touch. And it hasn't happened. And when things go a long time without happening, you can kind of get the vibe that it's likely to start happening again. I said I would mention weekly but one more time before anything else. If I flip back to weekly, I'm going to go find some older charts that I've drawn on here. So it's going to be a little messy looking, but I don't like to erase stuff. I like to leave it up there so I can go back and look at it and be like, hey, look, Keith, you screwed up. So
always got learning.
I want to own my failures. You know what I mean? So looking back at the beginning of Bitcoin, this is weekly 50-day moving average. Obviously, there was no 50-day moving average here. But hypothetically speaking, this thing broke on June in 2011. That's 2012. June 11th of 2012. It broke over the 50-day moving average weekly and did not fail until August of 2014. It then failed and waited all the way over here till October of 15. Big bull market, sold literally the same spot as you sold over here. You sold over here, literally the same in 2018. This is when I bought, when I first got into crypto, because I was suckered. That's what happens, is why you don't listen to us influencers. You make your own decisions.
Yes.
All right. Then obviously 2019, we got a rebuy. This is similar to the position we're in right now. Okay, y'all. We rode this summer run up. Summer kind of faded off. Literally exactly what we're doing right now. All right. Came down here toward December and November. And November, December, we got this lull period. And that's, guess what? What we're doing literally right now.
Yeah.
This thing faded the 50-day moving average for just a couple of days. It bounced back and forth, and shot up. One could argue that this was a COVID fall. I'm sorry, pandemic fall. You're not supposed to say the C word. The pandemic drop. But I'll say it didn't really do that. It just kind of retraced back to support and bounced. Nonetheless, not the argument. The point is, it got back over the 50-day moving average, pretty much right where it failed the 50-day moving average. On a daily, we had a great buy signal on this. It was fine. And this thing rode the 50-day moving average literally to the exact same spot as before, into 2021. This is when I was singing time to stop. I was singing time to stop. Hey, everybody, you know what? Maybe now's a good time to get some profits if you haven't gotten any. Hey, everybody, maybe it's time to slow down. I ended up selling at roughly the top, but not quite. I think I sold at about 64. And I ended up selling some altcoins when Bitcoin was around 68. But that was not the top on everything. That was close. But that's all I really want to do is get close. That's all anyone really needs to do is get close. No one needs to be perfect. TA is not perfect. Technical analysis is just an easier way to not lose money. All right. We save more money than we lose. That's very, very important. People say, well, you sold for a loss. I sold it and then it went down 80 more percent.
Yeah.
My 3% loss wasn't as bad as an 83% loss. And one of the old sayings is, well, it's only a loss if you sell. Say that to anyone who's still holding Luna. Say that to anyone who's still holding anything from a fake node project. It is a loss. You just haven't emotionally dealt with it yet. All right. It's part of the game and it sucks, but it is what it is. There's times when the music stops and we got to walk away. That's not now, in my opinion. Now, if we go to any altcoin and look around, honestly, every bit of a down here is an opportunity for buyers to come in. When we're pre-bull market like we are now, you're getting buy opportunities with every bit of red. People who have missed the chance to buy or have waited too long or were occupied or were putting it off, well, now's your chance. I've still got about 10% saved in stable coins to buy, and specifically to buy Ethereum. I'm waiting for the right time. I missed a buy line by about $1 a couple days ago. I had my line set at 1910. I think it went to 1911 or something like that. And I barely missed my buy. But nonetheless, if it wants to go a little bit lower, I'm okay with that. I'm a buyer here. From here until the end of 2025, I'm a buyer on every hard fall. Does that make sense, everyone? Every single time I see big red come in, I'm going to buy. And that might not be the case for every coin, but for in general speak, that's what I'm going to be doing.
Man,
sorry for the abrupt drops there.
Great lesson there. Keith, if people are watching this and it's maybe their first time getting a TA lesson and they want to maybe learn a little bit more and kind of test the waters, what's the best way to kind of come into your community, get involved? I shared your Discord link, but you want to talk a little bit about 786?
Yeah, so 786 Assassins started in 2019. Back in 2019 was when I really got my first lesson in how much of no control we have, how far out of control we really are. 2018 was when I bought. Quick Genesis story for you. I bought in 2018 on the advice of a YouTuber. That's what I get. All right. So in 2018, I bought XRP at 28 cents. I know everyone thinks that's amazing. If I still held that XRP today, doing the math, I would have about $19,000. I cannot do this full time with $19,000. So that it tells you what I did. But in 2019, we were following a different guy. And I say following, I was eating the Kool-Aid up, and that was on me. But I noticed in indiscrepancies in what they were doing, and I noticed shady things that were happening. And then I started getting information about it. After I did some digging and I started saying some stuff, I was abruptly kicked out. And that person to this day won't talk to me and has blocked me everywhere. Well, some people saw that happen and went, dude, why did that happen? Dude, you were just trying to help. And I said, exactly. It was no harm meant at all. Just trying to help people make more money. We started a little Telegram group. That Telegram group was called Chart Nerds. Obviously, that's not very attractive. So once we charted more and we went deeper on it, and at this point, I had started doing it a lot, pretty much all day long. I started teaching about the 786 Fibonacci level, which is the Fibonacci number. And we started calling that Sniper's Alley because a lot of times when the price would get up to 786, much like XRP at $2, that was 786. You get chopped down right there. Just like in a video game, you wouldn't run across Sniper's Alley if you're playing Call of Duty. For those who play Call of Duty, you hide. You don't run across Sniper's Alley because you'll get killed. You just stay put and watch what happens, or you go away from that area. You don't stay there. So we turned it into 786 Assassins, and from there it got really, really big. And I say really big, several hundred people was way more than I ever thought would want to hear anything. All right. That's when we made the decision to make it not free anymore. It was free for almost 2 years. We did it for free, 100% for free. We just wanted people to learn. It got wild, especially near the end of the bull market. That's when we made it a paid group. It's only, it's very cheap. It's only $10 a month. If you want to do the first month right off the bat. We also have an option for a free month. You can do it for free. It's wap.com/team786. It's very simple. wap.com/team786. We have two options. Like I said, you can do $10, you can do $16. The $16 one gives you a free month. So if you're unhappy, you can leave for $0 and it doesn't charge you a thing. We constantly talk TA, constantly talk charts. We try to find the best possible entries on everything we can. We cut through the BS. We don't have any degenerates. We don't have any children. Most of the time when you have a paid group, there's no children. That changed at the end of the bull market. It didn't matter. Even the children were going crazy. So we moderate it pretty well. We have a really, really good group of guys. It's not just me. It's all of us. People may be following what I'm doing, and I do post literally every single trade I make. When I do it, I post the screenshots and everything for people to see it. I recently had a guy going after me about DAG. So I posted my actual screenshots from my wallet of me buying it, the transactions. Like, I have nothing to hide here. So we try to keep it out in the open for that reason. It's a learning based community. I talk to everyone one-on-one. I'm not afraid to answer as many questions as possible. I try to make it personable. We're going to keep it small on purpose. We don't want this thing turning into a zoo. So most likely in April, we're going to cap it off, and will be a limited amount of access. So get in while you can. If you don't get in now, you may not be able to. I know that sounds mean, but that's what's going to help us keep the sanity. I can already see what's going to happen in a couple of years, man. It's going to be a madhouse.
Awesome, man. And, appreciate the lesson, and that's good information to have, guys. Go to 786, check Keith's Twitter account. There's some extra links, and I'll share some links in the live stream here in just a second. I know you kind of get in and out of things, but what can you maybe name 2 or 3 projects that you're bullish on, going in? Because you're in crypto 24/7 like me. What are some things that you're really thinking that the next bull market might bring just ridiculous gains in just a few of the tokens? Can you share anything with us?
Right. So to make it perfectly clear, I don't particularly care for any one particular company. It's all about gains for me. However, there are some charts that have more gains than others, and I think we'll do better than others. I think we all can understand that Bitcoin won't have the gains that altcoins will make. And because of that, Bitcoin may be safer, but there's more gains elsewhere. I like everything on Arbitrum Network. Not necessarily Arbitrum token itself if you don't want, but there's many, 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 many tokens on Arbitrum Network. I happen to know some of the Arbitrum people. I've sat down and ate lunch with them face to face, which I never thought would happen. And that's not why I like them. I think it's exactly what FTM and AVAX were pre-bull market. Go back and look at what FTM and AVAX did in the bull market, right? And I know when people want to argue about market cap, with that market cap, it can't get, listen, no one said AVAX and FTM were going to do that either. And look what happened. Arbitrum is just a layer 2. I'll say this, it's cheaper to use. They have a good network. It never goes down, and they're good people behind it. So I like that one. For all the BS and all the hopium, I don't hate anything on the Constellation Network. It's just the cult that I don't like. I don't like the cult mentality. But here's the good news behind that. When there's a cult mentality, there's plenty of people for me to sell to at the top. I don't like it to be that way. I would prefer if everyone sold with me at the top. So DAG, I think will do well in the bull market. I think the coins on DAG or associated with DAG will do better. Like GeoJam, I think will do better. ADS, I think it'll do better. I have more money in those than I do in DAG. Same thing with the Arbitrum token. I have some Arbitrum token, but I have more in the Arbitrum network on the other tokens than I do in just Arbitrum. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. ICP has insane chart gains, whether you like it or not. I do think XRP will have a good bull market. I think it'll be better than last one. I think it's going to do what people think it will? No, I don't, because I can do math. But I do think it'll get up there pretty good. I think it'll break all-time high, and I do think it'll get to at least $8 and likely a little higher than that. I'm not saying it'll stay up there, but it'll get up there. I'm not so big on H bar like many people are. Let me one more maybe.
So you're not
Um,
like tokenized value, real world assets being tokenized, brought onto that chain, and that's where that's where real value will come from.
I think what you just said, 99% of people have no idea what that means. And
Well, I
because
promise.
of that, no. But not because you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. I think because of the way what you just said, most people have no idea what you're talking about. And because of that, that's going to take years for people to figure out. And by then, we'll be in a bear market. So, am I bullish on sectors doing? Yeah. Rio, gonna do great. I own Rio. I haven't sold it. I've still got it. It's doing amazing. The chart looks crazy good. It should slow down here, by the way. Other ones like Creddy, I think is going to have a great bull market. If you want a flyer that I think might do great, I just bought this the other day. Full disclosure, I don't mind telling everyone that. Here is Velo.
Yep.
Velo has insane gains back to just resistance. Not saying it's going to do something outrageous. Just back to resistance is a 6 to 7x from here. Just back to the upper resistance level is way more than that. From here to the upper resistance level is a 100x. That's not all-time high. That's just to the upper resistance. And for example, many assets hit both of these levels last bull market. Many assets didn't break all-time high. Most of them did what I'm showing you here, to resistance. If this thing just goes to resistance, it's a 10x. 10x is what, after what I've got in it, oh my gosh, that's enough for me to be happy for the bull market on one chart. So there's plenty of gains to be made here. I think Doge and SHIB will do well, not because they're worth anything or have any real value, just because people are dumb and they'll continue to put money in things that look shiny. That sucks to say, but it's the reality. A couple others that no one have heard of, maybe AMP on Coinbase has crazy good gains. Flow on Coinbase has crazy good gains. And one more that I'm not a fan of at all. In fact, I wouldn't buy it if the chart didn't have really good gains is Casper, CSPR. I don't like it as a general rule. When a YouTuber shills it, I don't like it. And this is heavily shilled, right? I actually know of the transactions of a YouTuber shilling this and then dropping it on top of everybody when he got his tokens. So I'm not a fan of that, just a fan of the gains on the chart. And I do think it'll do well. I've got over 80 different holdings that I've bought. I'm obviously going to trade most of those. So I'm not bullish on any one given thing. It's hard to explain that to most people. I don't want you to think that I'm not bullish on something because of that. It's just that I like to spread my wealth out a little bit and cast a wide net, so to speak.
Awesome, man. Well, Keith, man, I appreciate you breaking everything down. Anything you wanted to say maybe before you get out of here, we move on to some other news?
Other than thank you for the opportunity. This doesn't happen enough across platforms. It doesn't happen enough in general. We weren't always on the best of terms. And I think it's important to know that we can put aside stuff like this in an effort to make more money, make more gains, and I'll be a little bit better off. We don't have to, egos become a big thing in this space. I want everyone to understand your emotions are going to get into you, especially when you get a lot of money, what you perceive to be a lot of money. You're going to get emotional because it happens to all of us. So thank you for the opportunity. Control your emotions, everybody. Hold them back. I know it's hard. But hold them back if you can. Make as much money as you possibly can and have fun doing it. Enjoy these good times, all right? Because good times never last, I promise.
I appreciate you, Keith, and I can't wait to have you back for another lesson. I know people got a ton of value, guys. I did share Caroline and Keith's Discord link above here. I will share it again before I get out of here. Thank you, Keith, and I'll talk to you behind the scenes, brother. I really appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Right there's my link. I just realized I could push the button and make it come up. So wap.com/786.
There you go, man. Thank you so much, Keith, and we'll talk soon, man.
Thank you, brother.
Anytime. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into some other crypto news. I love having Keith here. The man is just so much. He's got so much knowledge. Keith is pretty brilliant on the charts, and real good guy. So, what I want to do is I want to get into some other news, like what's happening with Binance right now, the Department of Justice, and there's some other crypto news going on. So let's go ahead and talk about it. I wanted to add too, guys. Part of learning in crypto is being prepared for the next bull market, and we're not quite there yet. And Keith's TA Discord is a very good opportunity for you to learn TA. Cryptonairz is a good opportunity for you to learn about all of these new crypto projects that haven't blown up and all these influencers aren't talking about yet. Our team and our community find all of this amazing info. Then you can go over to Keith's TA Discord and learn TA. And actually, if you are a Cryptonairz member, you get his membership for free. So if you want to go ahead and sign up for a free 7 days for Cryptonairz, I will go ahead and link the down in the description that 7-day free trial. And you know, would love to have you in the community. We're always talking about stuff. Keith was just talking about how he's bullish on Arbitrum. I just introduced this new project on Arbitrum that I'm going to be getting into heavy with nodes. I want to keep that in Cryptonairz for now. Once it launches, I will probably be tweeting about and talking about it, but I want to keep it in my community for now for my members. So there's a 7-day free trial. Come into our community and spend some time and really start learning with us and growing with us. So let's get into the other news. All right, I am sharing right now, right here. All right, let me see which window is this. It's this window. All right, see, I got all these different windows down here because I'm making videos. So the market right here, let's go ahead and refresh this. Refresh this right here. Bitcoin's actually rallying back. Look at 37, just over 37, 160, up 5%, 7 days. There's some red in the market. Avalanche is still up 22% for the week. You know, Stellar, XRP kind of just flat. Ethereum is down a bit. Casper is down a bit, but still up 40% for the week. Man, we got into this at what, like half a penny, like eight or 9 months ago when we were talking about it. Yeah, that's crazy stuff. It went up like 2,000%, man. Anyways, all right, let's get into this because this is why the market's been kind of weird today. Binance CEO CZ steps down as part of a $4 billion settlement with Department of Justice. Damn. CZ is stepping down as the CEO of Binance as part of a $4 billion settlement between the Department of Justice and the cryptocurrency exchange he founded. Sources close to the agency say the settlement with the Department of Justice and the Commodities Future Trading Commission, the SEC is not participating in this part of the settlement. As part of the settlement, Zhao, who will plead guilty to anti-money laundering charges brought by the Department of Justice, he's scheduled to enter a plea in federal court in Seattle on Tuesday. So CZ doesn't have a base of operations. Binance does not really have a corporate office. So he kind of calls in on Zoom. I wonder if he's supposed to show up to this thing. I wonder what will happen if he does. I'm very eager to see if he actually shows up because try to figure out where CZ is on the planet. You're going to have a hard time doing it. But Binance, the Department of Justice, CFTC, and the SEC have not replied for comments or requests for this. The SEC charged Binance and CZ in June with operating under registered securities and exchange, misleading investors by using a Switzerland-based fund Sigma chain, which was also owned by CZ, to inflate trading volumes, right? So they were inflating trading volumes on Binance's US platform. I bet you they've been doing this on the regular platform too. 13 charges. We allege that Zhao and Binance entities engaged in a web of deception, conflicts of interest, lack of disclosure, calculated evasion of the law, and a few other things that Gary Gensler said. So this is a big deal, guys. This is a big deal. And let me just show you this $4.3 billion penalty imposed on Binance. Here are some of the other bank fines, 14 of the biggest compliance fines. You can see that Binance is definitely going to be, in the top 10, right? 4.3 billion. That is a heavy price to pay. Where is he going to get the funds? Is he going to pull it out of BNB token? Does CZ have the money? It's going to be interesting to see where all the money gets pulled from. So, it is interesting, right? And CZ steps down as Binance as part of the plea deal. CZ will maintain ownership of the firm, similar to Arthur Haynes' agreement with the U.S. authorities when he made a deal, and then Binance to pay that $4 billion. Also, Tether assists the U.S. Department of Justice and U.S. Secret Service in criminal investigations as victim recovery fund. I thought this was kind of interesting. So here's the article. The firm behind USDT has voluntarily frozen $200 million worth of stable coins to assist the U.S. Department of Justice. In a new recent announcement, Tether says that it's freezing 225 million USDT in certain Southeast Asian wallets, allegedly connecting to pig butchering romance schemes. In a pig butchering scam, Bad actors form a relationship with the victim online to gain their trust and convince with victims invest in cryptocurrency. So they convince victims to invest in cryptocurrency platforms, and then scammers control, and then they just take all your money. So it's interesting to see Tether working with authorities. We'll see how that all plays out. And then BNB token dropped over 7% today. And we'll see how it fares over the next couple of days. But this news is just everywhere. I also wanted to point out that Binance has this fund, right? They put together for the FTX collapse. Everyone, listen, Binance, CZ's girlfriend, who he's got kids with, she's the one who approves projects for Binance Labs. It was set up really like FTX. And I was talking with my community yesterday about this, actually, just to kind of warn them, to take your funds off of Binance. But Binance put this $1 billion fund. Remember this recovery fund they put together? They've only put about $15 or $20 million into this fund. Binance spent $15 million of his Binance USD stablecoin. His total commitments of $1 billion. So, CZ is always trying to play the good guy, but in reality, he never gave this full $1 billion to this fund. It's not even 2% of what he committed. So we'll have to see how all this plays out. There's also a Department of Justice to announce major cryptocurrency enforcement actions today. This is supposed to be happening. I think it was at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time. So it's actually approaching here very, very quickly. Just trying, it doesn't give us really any details of what they're going to announce. Details are minimal regarding the nature of the cases or specific targets, but the Department of Justice said in a joint press conference that it will unveil separate but related cryptocurrency enforcement actions, guys. So be prepared for more red in the market, especially if these actions are very, very big. We'll have to see. Just be prepared. And then here's just another media advisory that who will be their Attorney General, Merrick Garland. So this is a big deal. Merrick Garland, Janet Yellen, Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco, CFTC Chairman Rostin Behemoth. So we'll have to see what all this plays out to later today. And then a lot of people are, talking about Larry. This is from Thinking Crypto. Tony Edwards says, Larry Fink, Jamie Dimon, and Wall Street whales are smiling right now. The chess moves are happening. Crypto startups being taken down, and Wall Street are coming in for the takeover of the market. It's happening right before your eyes. I mean, I think we're a little bit dramatic here, right? You broke a ton of laws. You didn't get registered. I mean, what did you think was going to happen? The bigger banks are going to come in and buy up all this stuff now. I mean, that's how all these markets go. I am not surprised. This has been written on the wall for a very long time. If you're surprised by this, you need to do a little bit more crypto research, because this is how big banks and BlackRocks and Invesco's and Charles, this is how these guys always come in. Look at the .com bubble. They came in and made all the money, and that's what they're going to do again, right? Banks want to make money. That's what they're going to do, and it's kind of sad, but it is what's going to happen. This is actually interesting. So this is what MT messages will look like, and these are what ISO messages will look like. So this all looks very confusing to somebody that is not basically, in a bank. This is a little bit more cleaner, but you also have this crypto function here, right? And that's what a lot of people are hoping that your XRPs, your XLMs, your XDCs, are going to be worth more one day, because you're going to be able to use these assets and use in these ISO messages in these formats. So I thought this was really cool to show you. ISO did happen over the weekend. Upgraded Target 2 and Target 2 securities was updated. So that's good. Trillions of dollars flow through this every year. Everything went off without a hitch. I mean, there was some delays, but it's up, right? Target 2 is live as of 2:30 a.m. and this was on the 19th. So cool. And then what happens now that ISO is migrated, right? So what can banks start using in Swift? So I thought this was a really cool clip. I'm going to play this, and I will let me play this. Give me 1 second.
What can financial institutions do with the data once they complete the migration and the additional data start flowing through their payment systems? And that's where we see customers now starting to come to AWS and say, hey, what can we do with this additional information? How can we offer better payment experience for our customers, whether they are on the retail consumer side or on the corporate cash management side?
Some of the data use cases that you think are short-term possible, given the migration to the standard? So how are you advising FIs to prepare to use that data in different ways today?
Sure. So let's take Swift as an example. They've published a timeline for ISO migration for Swift. So any bank, any financial institution who wants to use Swift for wires have to, upgrade to their messaging standards, to ISO standards by a certain timeline. There is going to be a coexistence period, but at the end of, I think, 2025, it'll stop. The coexistence will stop. So in addition to that, CBPR Plus, which is another thing that is happening along the same timeline, can help from a cross-border payment standpoint as well. So that's one set of use cases, mostly for corporate payments that we are seeing. For retail remittance, it's not as urgent from a timing standpoint, but for corporate payments, high-value payments, I think that could be a very interesting use case. So that's number one. The other use cases from an ISO standpoint are pure domestic wires. So Fedwire in the US and other market infrastructures in different parts of the world are also going to ISO 20022 standards. So banks who want to do domestic wires also have to go through that upgrade process again to process domestic wires as a starting point. Market infrastructures connecting to each other. So Singapore and India have announced such a relationship where it's for retail remittance, but it still proves the point, right? Which is two market infrastructures talking to each other, facilitating real-time cross-border payments. From an AWS perspective, we tend to enable these networks. These are different networks, as you can imagine, right? So the settled network, even though it's from a participation standpoint, those are mostly banks in the US, in Europe. The work that Mass and Nets and others are doing in Asia Pacific, that's a different geography. So depending on the participants, the networks are going to be disparate. But at the same time, we try to enable the ecosystem to connect to these networks so that they can facilitate cross-border payments.
I thought that was really cool, guys. I learned a lot when I watched that. I also wanted to show you guys this because Black Friday is coming up. I wanted to wish everybody a happy holidays. I still got a little bit of news to get into, but I wanted to show you this real quick. I wanted to show you, I got some more dope designs in the crypto store. Let me just go over this with you really quickly before you guys, before I go over some more news. 1 second. Let me just, I wanted to show you this. I worked on some Christmas designs and they're fun, right? I got Santa, you got the AVAX here. I got the Santa on the AVAX rocket. So I'm working also to get some Solana gear. I got some Casper gear in here. So if you like, any time of crypto gear and you want to show it off this Christmas or buy your significant other or your friend some cool Christmas crypto gear, check out the Cryptonairz shop, guys. I'll link this down in the description and take a look. I think it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of cool, XRP stuff and XLM stuff. So take a look and let me just show that real quick for you guys. And then let me get into some more news. Okay. So let's keep it going right here. And so just more stuff about ISO is officially live. So that's really good. A lot of people are asking about that. I've said this kind of time and time again that, dates come and go in crypto. You have to understand it's the underlying protocol that you are invested in long term, right? I've seen so many dates come and go and I've been let down so many times. And so I've been trying to warn people on this channel not to get married to a date. And, I didn't think anything was going to happen. And, it looks like that was the case. This is Gary Gensler talking. Like, this is before I believe he was in the SEC. I don't have an exact time frame on this clip, but he's basically going to explain to you Ripple and XRP's technology. Check this out.
Swift, which is just a messaging system, and then the banks have to somehow pre-fund in Nostra accounts. This is about the technology of banking, not the technology of blockchain. But to go between Tanzania and Nigeria, you need somebody to bear some counterparty risk that the ledgers both move and are adjusted at the same time. And usually it's a bank that is in both countries. You could use blockchain, but the current thinking is you need a bridge currency in between, and that bridge could be a stable value that's backed by the US dollar or the euro. It could be a currency even like Ripple has an alternative. It's just piloted in May, so it's not yet up in any enterprise-wide level, but that you might need something to basically hop, skip, jump, which is called a bridge currency.
I just thought that was great, man. You gotta love it when the SEC chair, who basically is anti-crypto, is explaining to you a new way to revolutionize and send money and make it easier. 19 banks, exposure to crypto assets, Basel Committee on Banking Supervision. Ripple XRP is 2% worth of $188 million. Basically, some of these banks have crypto exposure. Most of it is in Bitcoin and Ethereum. 2% of it is in XRP. All right. And then you have Polkadot here. And these are some grayscale funds. And then you have Solana, Litecoin, and Stellar. So those are what some of these banks are holding. It's about 188 million euros worth of crypto. All right. This is cool. MasterCard blockchain and multi-token network. We are heavily invested in this space since 2018, right? This is really cool. Check this out.
It's kind of evolving, right? We started doing this around 5 years ago. Initially, basically helping people on-ramp and off-ramping their assets from a digital wallet into the mainstream spending. We did that by basically allowing people to use their cards to spend their crypto assets. Now we accept stablecoins on our network. We've got security features that we've added in ways of identifying who you're sending money to and who you're getting money from. So we're heavily invested in this space, and we continue to kind of evolve and build new products in the space.
MasterCard recently announced its multi-token network.
Yeah.
What are the use cases for payments backed by blockchain technologies?
So the multi-token network is a solution we're building for our banking partners. It allows the banks to tokenize their assets directly on the MasterCard network and then use the tokenized assets to spend, right? So the use cases we currently have available are basic DVP or delivery versus payment solutions. We've got some escrow type solutions on there. And we've got some trade financing type of solutions on there. Now, it is still in pilot phase, and we continue to work with our banking partners to identify more use cases and add more applications on a regular basis that people are asking for. So initially, we did it in the UK. We're bringing it out to Asia over the first half of next year. And we are looking for application partners to really help us build out this network.
All right. Good to see. I mean, MasterCard, Visa, they're all in crypto. It's just the future of the way that money's going to move. New class of ESG securities being released, plus ESG data. Check this out. You have Trade Trust here. This is the XDC network ESG data, third-party data provider. So they added this ESG data area. So, this is the whole system's being built out before our eyes. We're just keeping track of what's being updated and what's being built out. I thought this was a fun video to use. I'm sure that as part of this, I might get taken down off YouTube because anytime I share what's his name's clip, I get a thing saying that I have to take some of it down. So let me just play this and I'll show you.
Chase, Citi, Wells Fargo, they're about to be reset, overhauled. It means the function of our banks is about to change. They probably won't raise public suspicion about it by changing the signs on your bank's branches. But in other words, the banking infrastructure is being rebuilt from the ground up, and very few Americans are aware this is even happening.
When they go to withdraw money, their ATM will say closed temporarily. When they go to sell stocks, their account will say transaction not available.
And by the time it'll be too late to do anything about it.
It's official, the Fed finally launching its long-awaited instant payment service, dubbed FedNow, which will allow consumers and businesses to send and receive payments in seconds. The system will allow you to pay for groceries instantaneously, businesses to pay suppliers, and people to pay each other. It will be available 24/7, 365, with full access to funds immediately. When FedNow is fully available and widely used, individuals will be able to instantly receive their paychecks and use them the same day. It can also help workers who aren't on a regular payroll, like gig workers, an Uber driver, for instance, get access to their wages faster.
And then here you go, ISO, right? All these banks, SEPA, DTCC, SWIFT, BNY Mellon, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, HSBC, Citibank, Credit Suisse. You're talking, I don't even know, right? Because JP Morgan does 10 trillion a day. Citi does 12 trillion a day. I don't know how much HSBC does or Bank of America. I think Bank of America is a couple trillion, but like SWIFT, I mean, you're talking like 30, 40 trillion dollars a day right here, right? In some of these banks. So it's just interesting to see what will happen once they actually start using crypto. Yeah, I didn't see anything announced right now yet. DOJ crypto announcement. I didn't see anything being announced yet. Oh, here we go.
This storm season, stay safe
with an emergency kit.
Oh, let's just launch this real quick. Let's see what they say.
Change for the trading of futures.
Hold on, I just want to see the beginning of this real quick and see what he says here.
Secretary Janet Yellen, Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco, and CFTC Chairman Russ Benham. We are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange.
Oh, it's just about Binance?
And from its founder and CEO, Changpeng Zhao, also known as CZ. Separate from the criminal enforcement actions, the Justice Department is announcing today Secretary Yellen and Chairman Benham will also announce civil regulatory enforcement actions, and the Treasury Department and the CFTC are taking against Binance. While criminal and civil enforcement actions are subject to different legal standards, this collective effort represents the whole of government approach that we are taking to combat corporate crime. Binance has agreed to plead guilty to willfully violating the Bank Secrecy Act, knowingly failing to register as a money transmitting business, and willfully violating the International Emergency Economic Powers Act.
The whole thing is Binance?
These laws ensure that our financial institutions are not available to designated terrorist organizations, drug traffickers, and sanctioned nation states that threaten public safety and our national security.
She's like, what are we talking about? Look, she's looking in here. What are we discussing today? Why am I here?
This department is requiring Binance to pay $4.3 billion in penalties and forfeitures. This is one of the largest penalties we have ever obtained from a corporate defendant in a criminal matter.
Wow.
The Justice Department is also imposing a monitorship as well as reporting requirements on Binance as part of today's resolution. Moving forward, Binance must file the suspicious activity reports that were required by law. The company is required to review past transactions and report suspicious activity to federal authorities. This will advance our criminal investigations into malicious cyber activity and terrorism fundraising, including the use of cryptocurrency exchanges to support groups such as Hamas. While this historic plea is an important measure of accountability, we know that corporations only act through the individuals who run them. That is why we have also filed a felony charge against and secured a guilty plea from Changpeng Zhao for willfully violating the Bank's Secrecy Act.
All right. Well, if we're not going to get any other announcements in there, I mean, it's just about Binance. It feels like this is a long press conference just to talk about this. Oh, look, Jenna Yellen. Oh man, hold on, give me 1 second.
General Garland, Deputy Attorney General Monaco, and CFTC Chairman Benham on such an important occasion. We're here today to announce the Treasury Department's historic action, the largest enforcement action in Treasury's history against Binance, the world's largest virtual currency exchange, for its consistent and egregious violations of U.S. anti-money laundering and sanctions law.
I'm just going to start calling it Binance. I like it.
Protecting the U.S. financial system, and through that, the global financial system.
All right. Well, that is what it is. Let's just keep going with the news then. Oh man, it's Binance. I like it. All right, so Christina Georgieva, this is a 38-second clip talking about CBDCs, guys. The head of the IMF, when the head of the IMF is talking about CBDCs, you know they're coming one day or another, right? This is what they're working on in the background. This is the new system, all right? This is how money is going to move at the speed of light, all right?
What is the advantage of CBDCs? Two. One, cut costs by making it so that the use of money printed becomes obsolete. For an economy like the Bahamas, the first country to introduce CBDCs, where you need to carry cash at high expense to different parts in different islands, this is a big advantage. And second, accelerate financial inclusion by making it so that there is a push for digitalization, and then digitalization steps into the world of money.
All right. Digitization steps into the world of money. I also wanted to just point out some crypto gaming projects, guys. You know what's actually funny? If you were, I keep saying this, but it's just, you know, I'm trying to get to the point across where, like, if you wait for ZSS Becker to post stuff on YouTube, you've already missed the boat. All right. I'm just letting you know that. These projects, Nakamoto was posted in the Cryptonairz Discord months ago by William the Whale. I don't know how many 100% up he's up on this, but I mean, if you wait for it, you're going to miss huge. Playable games. We were talking playable games when they first launched. We got into nodes when they were $400. Nodes right now for playable games, I think they're 50% off right now, but they're $2,600 at 50% off. So they're $5,000. Okay. I've made tens of thousands of dollars of free money on playable nodes already. And those are going to pay out for the foreseeable future. Sin City, this was brought up by George in the Cryptonairz Discord. This went up 200 something percent since George posted this. It was over a month ago. Right. The only project I have not heard of, I think, is this Champs project. You know, don't wait for CS Becker to post stuff. Get into the Cryptonairz community, because we will find this stuff before it's posted, and you can write it up at you know. Anyways, I just wanted to share some of these projects with you really quickly. I don't want to get into too much of it. We just did a long chat inside of Cryptonairz yesterday about all kinds of really great AVAX and crypto gaming projects. Let's keep it going here. I thought this was cool. Ubisoft is coming out with a new game, Champions Tactics, official trailer. I just want to show you this.
In this world where darkness reigns and magic fades, where empires clash and kingdoms crumble, there is a game woven with ancient magic and timeless legends, shaping the destinies of those who dare to play. But heed my words, my lord. Prepare to be consumed by this strategy crucible, where champions rise and fall.
Okay, that looks kind of cool. I mean, Ubisoft is getting into blockchain. Here you go. That's pretty awesome. And then if you don't know who Ubisoft is, guys, they have all these. If you played Assassin's Creed, Prince of Persia, any of these games, Star Wars Outlaws. So Ubisoft's a big name. So this project might do really well. So it's something to keep in mind. Champions Tactics. All right. How big is BBVA Switzerland? Total assets, 713 billion euros. Total equity, 50 billion euros. XRP enabled bank, right? Also, other major financial players such as HSBC and DZ Bank. Just want to point that out. This is actually pretty cool. Listen up. One of the largest exchange organizations confirms digital assets will come through. It's from Cyprus to Moniker.
We need to expand the IMS margins as planned. Third, we need to take a leading role in setting up new digital asset ecosystems. We will build platforms to serve these new digital asset classes that are truly emerging. They will ultimately come through, but the exact timing remains unclear. This will ensure that we are laying the foundation for growth beyond our Horizon 26 strategy cycle. Two messages are key for me. We need to expand.
Man, you definitely know that all of this is coming, right? 2026 should be a crazy year for CBDCs and adoption. I don't really need to play this. You guys kind of know. Here's Christina Georgieva talking in. A cross-border payment platform should be designed from the start. This is why I believe that these guys are going to use something like XRP Private Ledger. The technology's been around for a long time. They're testing it right now. You know, I'm long on
this. Is not the time to turn back. The public sector should keep preparing to deploy CBDCs and related payment platforms in the future. These platforms should be designed from the start to facilitate cross-border payments. CBDCs can replace cash, which is costly to distribute, especially in island economies. They can offer resilience in most advanced economies, and they can improve financial inclusion where few hold bank accounts. Artificial intelligence, for example, could amplify some of the benefits of CBDCs. It could improve financial inclusion by providing rapid, accurate credit scoring based on various data. And it could provide personalized support to people with low financial literacy, so they're in, not left out. To be sure, we need to protect personal privacy and data security, avoid embedded biases, so we don't perpetuate inequality, but aim to reduce it. I look forward to continuing this voyage with all of you.
All right. One or two more things, and then I got to get out of here. Excited to see the market scaling to the trillions on a daily basis. Citibank Representative David Cunningham confirms banks will use the technology in a way that had never been seen before. This is going to be my last clip. I have someone has to come over and fix my garbage disposal. I put some weird stuff. We made some spicy noodles like 2 days ago, and they were just way too spicy. Went to Costco, got some like it was like a hot pot thing. And man, it was like super spicy, and so I was like, we can't eat this. And my wife dumped it down the drain, and it clogged up the thing. We're about to do Thanksgiving in 2 days, and our garbage disposal doesn't work, and our water will go down. So the guy will be here in just like a minute. Let me just play this last clip, and I'll get out of here.
For everybody who has expertise here, is that we're truly seeing large organizations do things at a scale which we haven't seen before using this technology, and those who have skills to help empower regular financial market infrastructure and regular players like globally systematically important banks like ourselves to operate in this space. We need your skills and we need your help, and I think we're going to see a massive adoption in the next number of years where this really grows in the regulated space too, which is really exciting. But I think the key thing about all of this is that every element of doing this in a regulated environment takes some time and takes some effort and takes some coordination and takes a lot of work in terms of standards and standard setting as well. So, for me, I'm really excited to see how this tech is going to really massively scale over the next few years into many trillions of volume and scale on a daily basis.
Many trillions of volume and scale on a daily basis. All right, guys, that is where I'm going to leave you. I appreciate you spending this time with me. I got to call the garbage disposal guy back and hopefully get it fixed. But I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I will see you on Friday. I don't imagine there are going to be a ton of you out here on Black Friday. But hey, there's crypto news. I'm going to be reporting on it. Come hang out with me. I want to wish you all a happy holidays. God bless you all, and have an enjoyable holiday. And don't talk politics, talk crypto, right? All right, guys. I'll see you. Aloha. Bye.